Abuja. Okay, Rachel from Abuja, Chinayem from Lagos, Hilary from Lagos. Welcome, welcome. Yanuluwa from Lagos, Lagos. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Okay, yeah, I'm streaming now. Okay. All right, this works. How are we all doing today? Happy Sunday. Thank you for spending your evening with me or with us. So tonight, I'm not going to take so much of your time. I'm just going to get right into it. And it's a topic that I'm very particular about. I want to share a brief story with you so you understand my angle. Sorry. You understand my angle about this. So while I was growing up, suddenly I began to have very serious acne. I used to have this acne that was all over my head, like all here. It was just acne and it was black and it was very disfiguring. And it got my mom really worried. So my mom never really had acne when she was growing up. So she didn't understand why her kids should have acne. So mine was really bad. And so we're trying everything mixed to them, whatever, whether it was, I had different skin reactions for reasons we didn't know what they were. At a point, they began to pray for me in deliverance that if there's any, that maybe the acne was an evil mark on my forehead. Yeah, it was actually that bad for me. I'm sorry about that. My network. Yeah, okay, let me admit people. Oh my God, so many people are waiting. Okay. Sorry about that. That was my network. Yeah, that was my network. I'm sorry. So I kept having the acne issues off and on, all through until I got married and I was trying to conceive and I found out that it was beyond what I thought. Immediately I stepped into the consultant's office that day. The first thing he said was, "This is PCOS." And I'm like, "What's PCOS?" I'd not started taking pathology at that time or anything, so I didn't even know anything like that. And he was like, "You know what? Just go do the scan and the hormonal profile, and we'll know what T is like." And so when I went and I brought the results, he was like, "Oh, this actually confirms it. This confirms it. That he knew from seeing me, he knew, and it was actually quite bad at that time. It was bilateral for me, and it was just all over the place. And he's like, "How come you never knew that you had this? How come? Didn't you feel any pain? Did you have your periods constant, and all of that? At this stage, you shouldn't even be seeing your period." Now, I didn't know. I wasn't particularly sexually active, so I didn't even know whether my periods were frequent or not. I didn't know that, and I wasn't paying attention to anything. I just knew I was a little bit more hairy, and all of that. So it became a journey to find a cure, and they said there was no cure, but there were some interventions we could do so you can get pregnant, and then from there we can now know how to manage the symptoms. And I'm like, "Oh, really? Is it that bad?" Actually, it was that bad. And yes, eventually I had my son. I didn't have to do intervention. God stepped in. But I knew, at least I was informed. And so throughout when I had my son, there was nothing. I was quite okay. But after I had my son, after a while, of course, I began to see those symptoms. They were saying there were so many other symptoms attached to PCOS, and I began to see them. And I had to go back and I told my parents that see what was happening, and I shared with my sisters as well that look at what's happening. And if I knew earlier, I would have paid attention to myself. I would have taken care of myself. There are things I would have done that probably even have gotten to this level, But when I had my son, I was weighing like 50. I was not up to 55 kg. I was very slim. I was, all of that. But suddenly, after my son got to 1 year old, I began to add weight. And the weight I was adding was not from food because I'm not a foodie. So I knew it wasn't food. Some felt maybe it was stress or because I was sad or something. I don't know, but I was just adding weight, but not so much. But then it was obvious. And then the acne came again to come and go, to come and go. I can have months of flawless skin and then months it will just show up like, and all of that. And so at a point, I'll buy creams and they will just mess up my skin and just all of that. You have maybe reactions and all of those kind of things. That was what I was experiencing then. And at a point, I was tired. I just said, see, I know this thing is from inside. And if I don't treat it from inside, or if I don't have something sustainable, it will not make any sense. And when I began to take care of my inside, I also knew that I needed something outside, but I didn't want something that was going to bleach me. I didn't want something that was not sustainable. I didn't want magic. I already knew that magic was not going to work. So some decisions I made, number one, was to begin to talk to young women about paying attention to their health or their life or different areas of your life when you're young. My parents were not that informed about it, so they didn't even know. But I paid attention to my sisters and I always tell them, no, go and check this, go and do this, go and do that, And so most of the things that we begin to experience, for example, I tried many things. So the ones that will say, wash your face 9 times in a day, the ones that will say exfoliate, and all of that. And you don't know what is suitable for your skin. And so at a point, I'd given up on that. But towards the end of last year, a friend of mine, Mr. Praise, just mentioned, I know to me, the RD8 Labs. And he was like, I'm like, oh, this is what I'm actually looking for at this point. I'm already consulting with my doctor to work on the internal part of my body. I'm not a makeup person. The highest makeup you can see on me is maybe foundation, eyeliner, and lipstick. I don't even draw my brows. I don't know how to draw it, except professional makeup artists is doing that. My brows are just there. So I wanted to have to, I didn't want to have to walk out having to wear makeup all the time. So I'm like, this is what I wanted to pay attention to in 2022. And this was December. And so he's like, book a consultation. They're good, and all of that. I'd read about her and I said, fine, okay. And we had that was a busy time for me, but she was very patient, sent me the questionnaire, quite detailed, and she was not where I was. It was a virtual conversation. And then she had a call with me and we discussed and all of that. Very simple, direct questions and all. And then she just sent me what I needed. Now, it wasn't just what I needed. She let me know where I could get the best deals with them, how to use them. It was just very detailed, this structured thing. I was like, hey, me that don't like beauty stress. Okay, let me try. And to be honest, it's been just a little over a month. I've been using it like since December, not early December, Sha. And I'm not on makeup. Nothing. I'm not on makeup. I'm literally not on makeup on this call, and it's just been good. I've just been seeing growth, consistent growth. And my skin is just being what it should be. It's breathing. It's just nice, And I was just sharing with her, and I'm like, many young women, not just women, many women, even tech enthusiasts, like tech people, we are just very used to our jeans, and my own is my shorts. I wear shorts a lot, and my top, or my boo gown or something. We're just used to these free things. You don't care, just carry your bag. I beg, carry your backpack and you just move out. But you know, how you look is very important, especially in the tech space where it's very easy to dismiss women. Very, very easy to dismiss women. So I will not lie to you. I always say it, as a woman, you have an advantage getting into the room. So I have a very charming smile and I'm a pretty girl. So yes, I'll get into the room. But what is in my head will keep me there, right? So it's very important to take care of your health and how you look, because basically how you look, it's from inside. I don't even know how to explain that. It's basically from inside. Your body is the vehicle to help you achieve all those dreams, all those things in your head. So how you present yourself, how you look, and all of those things are very important. So when we were drafting the Heels in Tech conversations, um, for you all, areas where we'll talk about things beyond work and work that can help you live a holistic life. I knew this was going to be one of the first topics we should talk about. My very, very first instrumental mentor had always told me that PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. You can Google it. My very, someone asked in the DM, that's why I'm answering that. My very first mentor always say that your image is very, very important. It creates a long-lasting perception of you, how you look. So if you're like me, which most tech people are not particular about makeup, but they just want to look good, they just want to be good, they just want to feel good, then this is a conversation we should be having. And I'm very happy that we're going to be having one of the calmest people and the best in it, not the people that are formulating. We have many organic cream formulators here in Nigeria and in Africa, West Africa particularly. But no, this is not one of those people that just learned how to mix relaxer and some other things together. No, 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 no. This is not one of them. She has a master's degree in chemical engineering with a focus in cosmetic engineering from the Manhattan College. Her research interest includes automated formulation design from novel textures and superior performance of hair care and skincare cosmetic products. She's the principal in R&D, principal R&D, that's research and development scientist at her startup beauty brand called RD8 Labs, which aims to be Nigerian's foremost cosmetic and biopharmaceutical research, formulation, and advanced characterization of laboratory. I love the fact some people ask me, what do you use? What did she give you? And I always tell them, everybody is unique. My skin is not like yours. Mine is different, but there's just a general route to everything. And I'm so excited to have her with us tonight. I'm not going to be taking so much of your time because I know it's Sunday evening, so people will be gearing up for the new week. So permits me to invite Miss Aina to take the stage now. And please, if you have any questions for her, put it in the chat box. Ask her. She's here. Before you go and book 101 or before you go there, you have her to yourself for the next few minutes. Please, let's maximize the period. So welcome everyone again. Welcome. Miss Aina, over to you. Just can you turn on your video so I can? Okay, thank you.
Hi everyone.
Welcome.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, although it's breaking a bit.
Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, it's better now.
Because I just want to be sure.
We can hear you better. Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, it's great. Oh. Okay, great. Lydia can hear me. Okay, I guess I'll just keep speaking, and if at any point it's breaking or you can't hear me, please let me know. My name is Aina Davis, and I'm a cosmetic engineer never took the light. But anyways, you can still hear me. We'll be back up in a couple minutes. My name is Aina Davis, and I'm a cosmetic engineer as introduced. And I just want to say, by the way, that I'm always bragging about how I'm a tech girl. After this meeting, I'll be more confident about saying that I'm a tech girl. So just to put that out there. But thank you so much for having me on here, Excellence. Like, to be honest, it's it's really an honor being able to, speak to your community about something that is so important and to me, personal care. So I'll be starting off with, just a brief, an outline of the beauty industry 10 years now. This is my 10th year in the industry, occupying one role or the other. So I started out as a makeup artist, doing makeup, learning. So I went to makeup school for the first time in July of 2012, I believe. Yes, July of 2012. And, I've been to makeup school 3 times, once in 2012, in 2013, and in 2018. So it's been like a journey of like learning for me. I love to learn. I really do. So I'm always trying to up my skills, up my knowledge, up my research and all of that. And then after some time, because I studied chemical engineering, my first degree is in chemical engineering, and being younger and thinking of thinking of what I will do with my degree, the obvious answer was oil and gas. The obvious answer was oil and gas. And I really thought that I could, hack it in oil and gas until I had, my first internship in oil and gas, and realized that it really wasn't for me. I couldn't possibly see myself doing this for the rest of my life. And it took a simple, I kid you not, like it took a simple Google search for me to find a program in cosmetics that was still related to chemical engineering. And so I found my program in Manhattan College. This was in 2016. And, I got in touch with the school, with the department, asked my questions, did all the research that I could. And, after serving, I applied while serving, and then I got admitted, and then I went to school. So my program lasted about 2 years. And during my program, I was pretty much just like exposed to the global cosmetic industry and everything that, could possibly, make it what it is today. And it was a very worthwhile experience for me. It gave me a lot of insight on, cosmetics, because a lot of people tend to view personal care, beauty, anything beauty related to be very superficial, right? And I mean, it's opinion, that's the opinion, right? But a lot of people just seem to like see it as very superficial. There's no deep learning or deep thinking that goes into it. It's really just makeup, lipstick, powders. And I mean, who cares, right? But I think, or I know that there's so much that goes into it. It's an art form. It's a deep science, like inclined movement, and I'm so glad to be a part of it. And today, what I want to speak to everyone, tuned in about is, personal care from a practical approach to it, basically from a very personal point of view. Excellence gave like her experience with PCOS, and there are a lot of women who suffer PCOS today in the world, and just like her, a lot of women find out in the later stages of their lives, because not everyone suffers the same symptoms. Not everyone, starts having symptoms even from like early on. It starts at some point, and then when they go through like the doctors and everything, they get diagnosed, right? So with PCOS, it can be tricky with skin. I'm just going to start from there because, she already kind of like talked on that. With PCOS, it can be tricky treating skin related issues when PCOS is involved. I've had a few clients, even before her, who would come in for consultations and we would talk, and then they would let me know that, oh, I also have a history of PCOS. And I'm like, good, thank you for letting me know. Because when you're dealing with PCOS, you tend to understand that a lot of the background issues stem from hormonal imbalances, right? And with hormonal imbalances, things become tricky again. So it's no longer just, oh, you're giving her all the right products, you're giving her all the right things that she needs. Why is it not working? There has to be, a whole system that is peculiar to the user, right? So first of all, the client has to be very observant. You have to give me like cues. You need to let me know, okay, this is when the acne intensifies. This is when it starts to like calm down. I need a lot of information. I need you to work with me, which is why even for this like consultation processes, we have subscription periods. So you can't consult with me on a one-time basis. Like we can't just have a conversation and you leave. I really need to be in your head for a couple of months, right? Because we need to make certain observations. I need to, gather information. Basically, I'm a researcher, like, bottom line. So I like to just kind of like observe and like put down my notes and understand everything that is happening and why it is happening, okay, for as long as we need to. So let's start from the basics, okay, guys? Personal care, not just for women, but for everyone, stems from the basics. And even before, going to school to study cosmetic engineering, and if anyone, asks the question, I will answer. I just don't want to take up your time explaining what cosmetic engineering is about, okay? However, personal care, starts from the basics, guys, the very basics, from waking up in the morning and, changing your sheets and, taking a shower and brushing your teeth. All of that is personal care. All of that is beauty related, but, a lot of people don't see it that way. Once you have a steady hygiene process that is also carried out daily, you are involved in personal care. That's a routine, right? There's certain people that will not, lie down on their beds until they've taken a shower, until they've, changed out of their work clothes and all of that. That is a personal care routine, right? So it starts to get, I don't want to use the word complex, but your personal care routine starts to build upon itself when you start to personalize it, right? So we want to believe that everybody takes a shower at least once in 24 hours, right? We also want to believe that everybody makes use of deodorants and like antiperspirants at least once in 24 hours. We want to believe that. Now, these are all generic personal care activities. Now, when you start to understand your skin and understand your body more, I'll give an example. I've always had dry skin, right? And always, for as long as I can remember, I've had dry skin since I was really little. And so I just started from a very young age, I was always told, wear your body lotion, like always put on body lotion, always put on body lotion, because I would have it was bad. I have like chronic dry skin. It'll be scaly, dry, itchy, and all of that. So even now as an adult, I don't have a problem with putting on like body creams and body lotions. It doesn't matter the temperature of the day, I now will do it. And that's because, I've built a habit due to my skin condition of putting on lotion every, single day, as long, whether I'm going out or not, as long as I'm taking a shower, I'll put on lotion. Now, that is personalized. It still sounds very simplistic, right, to a lot of people, but that is personalized, what do you call it? If you experience acne, if you experience hyperpigmentation, which is when patches of your face are darker than the other parts of your face, and you start to introduce products that contain certain ingredients that tackle hyperpigmentation, that is a personal care routine. So I'm really, trying to simplify everything to you guys, let you know that, look, it has to start somewhere. Routines start somewhere. Routines start from one activity or one product to two activities to two products to three activities to three products. We all have our different, routines that we carry out from. It might be something, when you were growing up, you always did, and you just kind of carry that into adulthood. It might be something that, started at some point in your life and you found a solution and you've just always done it. It usually happens like that. But what I want to emphasize on is the basics. It's usually very, very basic activities that turn into routines or habits. Okay. So that's pretty much what I have to say about the basics. Now, I understand that most of you on here are women in tech. Whoop, whoop. I love that. And I want to open up your minds to how you particularly have to take care of your skin, not just your skin, like your entire body, right? Your hair, your skin, and, your body, like I said. I really, obviously cannot speak to your daily activities in terms of work, because I'm not really a woman in tech, but don't tell anybody. But however, you really need to pay attention to, your daily activities. And I'll tell you the simplest way to build a routine. Whether or not you speak to a consultant, whether or not you speak to a professional, pay attention to the things that stress you out most of the time during the day. Pay attention to your daily routine. So when you wake up in the morning, what's your commute like? Do you drive yourself to work? Do you take public transportation to work? Okay, even if you work from home or work from an office, the room that you work from, is it constantly air conditioned, right? Or do you have the windows open and all of that? When you commute to work, are you exposed to UV radiation, which is the sunlight, for most of your commute hours? Pay attention to all of this and then think, and this is actually like an activity for everyone right now, and think of how much of that activity or the time spent doing that activity, how much of your skin and your hair is exposed to the elements. All of that has has an effect on your skin health and your hair health. Okay. Sometimes it sounds like, oh my God, well, there's nothing I can do. I can't I can't hide from the sun. I can't I'm exposed. That's just what it is. But with this webinar, I want to shed some light on how to protect yourself through the day. Okay, how to protect yourself through the day. And I'm so happy that you guys are all here because, usually this is what most people will probably pay for. But, it's all free information because it's necessary information for skin health. And I really want everyone, that's my ultimate goal in life, to have everyone, have healthy skin, honestly. So first things first, you need to understand your skin. So whatever stage of your life that you are, start to make observations. Start to observe your skin. Start to observe your health in general, right? What are the things that cause a decline in your skin's health or your overall health? Start to make observations. Now, if, like I said, you commute to work, whether you're driving or you are, taking public transportation to work, or maybe you don't even work so far from where you live and you just take a walk to where you work, right? The sun has a major, major, major role to play in a lot of negative effects to the skin, right? So with the sun, you have what we refer to as photoaging. Now, photoaging is basically a decline in health of most skin cells as a result of exposure to the sun, right? So when you think of fine lines, wrinkles, dark spots, dark marks on the face, most of the time, they are increased or exacerbated by sunlight, right? So you want to have a routine that includes photoprotection. And a routine that includes photoprotection means you apply sunscreen as your last step before heading out of the house. Now, sunscreen is a skincare product that contains photofilters. Now, these are ingredients that pretty much reflect light, right? So think of it like when you apply sunscreen on your body, it reflects that when you apply it, it forms like a film over your skin. And that film contains photofilters. So when the sun rays hit your skin, the photofilters cause this UV rays to be reflected back into the atmosphere. Now, there are other types of sunscreens that they contain organic photofilters. So the UV rays are absorbed into your skin, but the organic photofilters convert them to heat, right? So it pretty much doesn't cause the same damage as when it is a UV ray. Now, UV rays are really dangerous to skin health, right? Because not only for Black people, it's more about the effects on our skin's health. So it just degrades the skin faster than it should. For other races like the Caucasian race, that's a big cause of skin cancer. But the sun doesn't really cause that much skin cancer for Black people, right? So I'm going to break a few myths now concerning UV radiation. One, you're not gaining vitamin D by sitting out in the sun or walking in the sun. We were told that as kids, that's open the windows, let the sun hit your face, vitamin D. No, we have melanin as Black people, and your melanin is your first photofilter. right? So melanin actually breaks down UV rays, right? So it literally prevents UV rays or prevents UV rays from penetrating your skin as much as it would a white person, but it's still not enough because they're also cells. So the more you grow, the more they degrade, right? The more you're exposed rather to the sun, the more they degrade. So we're unable, our skin is unable to break down UV rays. Think that, okay, you're taking your daily dose of vitamin D. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so tell a friend to stop staying under the sun. It's not helping anybody. Okay, so that's two myths I just broke. So a lot of people say we're Black, we don't need sunscreen. No, you're Black and you need it the most. Okay, because when a white person burns, like a sunburn, it's very visible. They can see that they're burnt. They can see the erythema, which is, the redness. And they know that, something bad has happened. But when a Black person burns, you pretty much can't tell because we're Black. It just seems like, my face is darker than the rest of my body, or my arms are darker than the rest of my body and all. And we just kind of like leave it, don't say anything about it. But this again is a friendly reminder that you should definitely use sunscreen, not just on your face. Okay, for someone like myself, that's one thing I'm very particular about. Not only would I like apply sunscreen, I would reapply hours after, right? So as often as I can. So I also apply sunscreen on my hands, on, if I was wearing this outside, I would apply sunscreen all over for protection. And I'm hammering on sunscreen because I know that a lot of people would have questions about this and that, but you need to understand that sunscreen is a very major, or rather has a very major role to play in making sure that all your skin concerns are like, treated accordingly. Like whatever you're using for whatever skin concern, sunscreen is like the plaster over everything that makes it all work. Okay, so moving on to opportunities, technology opportunities. I'm so sorry. This is so embarrassing, but Nigeria, I guess. I want to talk about technology opportunities in the cosmetic space, because I am talking to women in tech after all. Like I said before, I'm an engineer by training. I've always been a scientist from my early years, if you care to believe, since I was probably 6 years old. Since I could read, I was always fascinated by the world and just like science in general and everything. And so I know for a fact that a lot of people see beauty as, a lot of people still don't believe, but when I tell people I'm a cosmetic engineer, I've told someone once I was a cosmetic engineer and he said, what field? Like what engineering field? And it was quite confusing because I literally just said cosmetic engineer. So obviously the field is cosmetics. So anyways, it's still something people are getting used to. I'm used to it. A lot of people are getting used to the fact that there is something called a cosmetic engineer. And I want to talk to you guys about like the technology opportunities, or just, how technology is greatly used in cosmetics these days. Now, the first thing I like to talk about is automation. So cosmetic labs are vying towards like full automation these days, right? So during my master's, I was opportune to work with a formulation robot, right? So when you use cosmetics, talking about skincare to hair care, like shampoos, conditioners, makeup, foundation, concealers, soap, all of that stuff, it is formulated first in a lab, right? And so a formula is developed and then it is formulated. Now, these products in the past were formulated by hand. So everybody just kind of like, sat in the lab for hours, trying different formulas, tweaking it, iterating on the existing to make something novel. And these days, it is possible to use robots to make formulas or to formulate products. Now, what do these robots offer? They offer speed, accuracy, and of course, like little to no supervision. So how it works is you have a robotic platform and it has a robotic arm, and then there's vials. So you have all the ingredients, you have the reactors, and in these reactors, you have the mixers and the heaters and like stuff like that. And you write the code basically. So you write a code for what you're trying to mix. So everything from amounts. So obviously your code is instructing the robotic hand arm that moves around, picking stuff up, aspirating and dispensing and stuff like that. So you're writing a code to say, pick up 4 grams of this, dispense into vial 2, pick up 5 grams of this or 5 milliliters of this, dispense into reactor 4, heat reactor 4 up to XYZ temperature, mix at XYZ RPM. It's basically automating the bench process, right? As opposed, if you study chemistry in school, right? Or if you did any type of chemistry and you had a chemistry lab in your school, you remember that, there were the test tubes, the beakers, all of that stuff. So a cosmetic engineering or even a cosmetic science research lab looks exactly like that, where, you have the vials, you have the beakers, you have the spatulas, you have all of that stuff. But I was opportune to basically man a robotic tool that took that process from 0 to 100, right? And this is the same robot that is used in the world's biggest cosmetic companies, like, the world's biggest cosmetic companies, basically. And working with that, it just blew my mind, because when you have a glimpse into the future, because not every now it's available, the robot is available in most big companies, but not really utilized a lot, because one, it's a lot of things that they have to deal with. But anyway, it just blew my mind to how technological this space is becoming, right? So you no longer have to spend so much time developing a formula, depending on how complex the product is, can take, years to perfect before it is now, mass produced and then distributed. So this robot pretty much shortens that time to market period for the producers, right? So rather than taking years to formulate, and obviously these robots are not just used in like the cosmetic field, pharmaceuticals as well, biopharmaceutical companies, performance products as well for cars and like engines and all of that make use of robots like this. And they are pretty much built by, tech people, women and men in tech. And I remember being trained to use this product. And I think I wouldn't say I mastered it in a day, but I only had training for a day, and then I had to work with it for a year. And these trainers never had to come in again for me. And that's my story I can share on request. Most of my published papers are on, automating the whole formula development process, making it more technology bound, and, making it more automated to basically speed up the process. And that's what I really want to do, right? We don't really have those robots here in Nigeria for obvious reasons. We don't necessarily have a very developed cosmetic industry to that extent yet. But, by God's grace, time is the only currency here. With time, we'll definitely get there. Excellence mentioned how my research interests include automated formulation, and that's true, right? So if that's something any of you would like to discuss further, we can talk about that later. Now, another extent or another thing I wanted to touch on in terms of like technology in the beauty space is ingredient combinations. Now, for Excellence and her routine, her routine was very thought through, to be honest, because that's what I do for all my clients. Every routine of yours is personalized to you. And I always tell my clients as well, like for people who ask, oh, like, a friend of mine wants to know if to get this and get that. Obviously, using the verb can, of course they can. It's being sold. And if they can, if they want to buy it, they can. But they need to understand that it is not they need to understand that it is not a product that might work for them as well. I prepare routines for the client. I prepare product lists for the client. So if you meet a friend and say, oh, what are you using? Which a lot of people are victim of, right? You see your friend using this cream or this soap or this and that, and you go and say, it's working for you now, so let me try it. And then you see like very adverse effects on your skin. That happens sometimes. And this is because you use something that wasn't supposed to be used on your particular skin concern. So I want to advise everyone, if you're thinking of seeing a consultant or a skin professional for whatever it is that you're going through on, whatever skin. And when I say skin, guys, I'm not just referring to facial skin, please. I'm also referring to body skin as well. So when you reach out to a consultant, or when you reach out to a friend and they tell you, oh, I use this and it works, take that with a pinch of salt. It might work for you, but don't become a heralder of the good works of that product, because it may not work for a lot of people. I've seen that happen a lot of times. A lot of people who now need professional help, not because they had skin issues before, but because they used a product that someone else was using. So refrain from that if you already do that, or advise someone. Like, that is not the way to clear skin concerns. It can lead to more problems from my experience. So ingredient combinations are also, tech inclined, if you ask me, because there are a lot of ingredients in the world, a lot of cosmetic ingredients, and you guys probably know some. You've seen them at the back of your product. Common ones include glycerin. What else do you guys see? Put them up on the chat box if you've seen a couple ingredients at the back of your products that you've seen repeatedly over and over again. For some people, vitamin E oil. Guys, help me. I'm trying to think of common ones, not just AHAs. Exactly. Thank you, Esther. Carotene. And yes, if you have any questions about ingredients that you've seen, please start to leave questions for me, and I'll start to get to them one after the other. Yeah, shea butter, stuff like that. A lot of people, you've seen them in a lot of products and people swear by them, but the moment you touched it, it was like, oh my God, this is not for me. So that happens to a lot of people. So ingredient combinations are such an important thing, especially at RD8 Labs, because we have an understanding that there are lots of ingredients out there in the world, too many maybe, and they're being developed and modified every single day, right? With the use of this technology, technological equipment that I also just highlighted to you. So combining these ingredients to work for our skin type, and when I say our skin type, I mean Black people, Africans, African Americans, African Caribbeans, Caribbean Americans, and all of that, because a lot of the time, whether we like it or not, we are the minority, okay? And I know this from experience, we are the minority. A lot of skin research and hair research that exists in the world today were carried out on, a majority of a Caucasian testing panel. Okay, so white people, research on hair, research on skin, they're majorly on Caucasian hair and skin. And a lot is changing, but not at a pace that we need. We need a faster pace. And there are reasons for that, right? We don't need to go into that. But at RD8 Labs, what we're trying to do is consider ourselves first, consider our demographic first, consider our skin first. So for whatever we do, and everything that we're doing now, we're putting into perspective our daily experiences as Nigerians, as West Africans, as Africans as a whole. What do you experience on your day-to-day activities, which is what I also touched on in the beginning, talking about, observe what you do every day, which is what we take into consideration as well in RD8 Labs. We consider, what is the average Nigerian exposed to on a daily basis? Is it pollution? Is it harsh weather conditions? Is it, what is it? And we take that information and we convert it, we translate that into cosmetic needs, right? So if you are exposed to dryness for the most part of your day because you live in a very arid climate, which is, a lot of sun, a lot of humidity, and a lot of dryness, then you need a moisturizer or hydrating products, right? So we take that information, that data, and we're able to translate it into ingredient combinations. So what would we need to tackle dryness on the skin? We would need emollients, right? So emollients are ingredients what's an easy example of an emollient? An oil is an emollient, right? So we'll consider oils in a product. dry oils specifically, we would need like humectants. So humectants are molecules that draw moisture to the surface that they are applied. So glycerin is a perfect humectant example that most people on here would know. We'll need an occlusive. An occlusive is like shea butter. So it's something that traps moisture on the skin. So combining all of that with some other, stabilizers, emulsifiers, preservatives, all of that gives you a moisturizer, right? In the most generic way possible. But because we're being very personalized to the daily experiences of our users, then we're able to custom make these products. Now we're able to answer your deepest, darkest, or rather your deepest, needs, but on a cosmetic level, right? And this is all the work that goes into making a skincare product. So it's not superficial at all. There's also the applications of artificial intelligence and machine learning to deduce the condition of one's skin and the skin concerns they experience to also provide the best possible skincare products for them. So the process that Excellence and I went through with, answering basic questions, very simple questions, giving me her skin history, her product history, all of that, so we could put together a routine. That process can be sped up through the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Now, there are a lot of brands that already do this. A lot of companies already make use of this technology. However, again, like I said, it's not necessarily optimized to this side of the globe, okay? And at RD8 Labs is definitely in the works for us to develop something that works for us, that is optimized to help us, help our skin needs, our skin concerns. Now, the ultimate goal for every individual should be skin health, okay? There's no perfect skin. There is no flawless skin in quotes. Like, it's not about clear skin. There's certain people that will never have clear skin in their lives. And that is not the end of the world, okay? It can be really sensitive for most people, just having to deal with acne, especially if your acne starts as an adult. There are people that never had acne as, teenagers or young adults. And there's people who have adult acne, which pretty much starts at, in their 30s, in their 40s. It can be really, it can be really heartbreaking, for lack of a better word. But like I said, the goal is healthy skin and not necessarily clear skin or glass looking skin, or I like to call it social media looking skin, okay? Social media has perpetrated a certain look of, a certain look for what skin should look like. And that's not true, okay? As long as your skin is healthy, right? That should be your goal. That should really be your goal. So I just pointed out 3 different applications of technology in the beauty space. I'll just take some questions that are there now before I move on. It says, what do you think about African black soap? My face reacts to it, but my body does not. That's a very simple question. African black soap has history, has a lot of good PR, and all of that. So a lot of people have used black soap at some point in their lives, myself inclusive. But with knowledge comes changes, right? Black soap, the skin, right, has a pH of about 4.5 to 5.5. If anyone here doesn't know what pH is, let me know and I'll explain. But the skin has a pH of 4.5 to 5.5. Now, that's kind of like an acidic scale, right? Kind of tipping towards it, but that's the pH of the skin. Now, African black soap has a pH of about 7, 8, 9, 10, within that range. Now, what African black soap does to your skin is it causes an imbalance of the acid mantle of your skin, which is your skin's pH, right? And as a result of that, you start to break out, because the way the skin is structured, there's a balance, right? There's a barrier function of the skin, and the moisture barrier of the skin functions to basically keep moisture in and keep exergent forces, so like dirt, bacteria, stuff like that out, right? So it protects the skin from the inside and from the outside. When you cause an imbalance through like application of certain products that shouldn't be on your skin, you basically compromise the barrier function of your skin. And once the barrier function of your skin is compromised, what does this mean? Bacteria that it would usually keep out, it just can't anymore. So they start to get into your skin, causing, irritation, inflammation, stuff like that. And it can also keep moisture in. So you start to get like scaly, rough, textured skin. Okay. Now, I can understand that your body does not react to it. That's also because skin on your body tends to be thicker than your face, right? So the skin on your face is a bit thinner than the rest of your body. So it's very, very, very possible that your skin is more tolerant of the soap. The skin on your body is more tolerant of African black soap than it is on your face. Personally, I don't recommend African black soap to be used on the face at all. It works for some people. It has worked for years and generations. However, if you asked me, I would say it's a no. It's a big no. Okay? So I hope I answered your question, 12th Grace. Tomilola wants me to share natural sunscreen ingredients. None. I'm sorry. There are none. I'll explain why. Remember that I said that sunscreen ingredients are photo filters, right? So for a photo filter to be a photo filter, for an ingredient to be a photo filter, it has to have the ability to reflect UV rays, okay? If a natural ingredient can reflect UV rays, that's fine. But from my research and from all my findings, there really aren't any. Okay, so there are two types of photo filters. There are physical filters and there are organic filters. Physical filters are titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. They are pretty much, opaque powders that are blended into sunscreen products. So when you wear a sunscreen product and it gives a very white cast on your face, it most likely contains a physical sunscreen. Okay, so those are physical sunscreen. Organic sunscreens are organic components, organic chemicals, right? So we're talking avobenzone, octocrylate, I think. There are about 8 approved in the US and much more approved in Europe. But the point is, these organic filters, they don't really reflect light. They absorb the light and they convert it to heat. All right, so these are sunscreens that don't give a white cast. They're usually more emollient and stuff like that. Most sunscreens combine both physical photo filters and organic photo filters. So like I said, a lot of brands will market to you all natural, all natural sunscreen and that. I find that very hard to believe because like, what's the tech? Wow, Nepal is really on a roll today. Sorry guys. So how do you prove that a natural product is still reflecting light? Do you understand what I mean? So from my research, I can't really give you any natural sunscreen ingredients because I do not think that there are any. Okay. Also, before I answer any more questions, the term natural has no definition in skincare. In the cosmetic industry, there is no definition for natural. Okay. What that means is there are no regulations. There's no one checking because there's no definition. There is no regulation. Okay, so unlike, say, alcohol, right? And when I say alcohol, I mean consumable alcohol. A product can be non-alcoholic and a product can be alcoholic because there's a definition of what alcohol is, right? So it's very easy to set the checks and balances. But in the global cosmetic industry, there's no definition for natural. There's no definition for organic. There's no definition for, green, all of those buzzwords that are used today in the clean beauty space. So anyone can, make anything and term it natural. And there's no one that will come and say, that's a lie, recall your products. So everyone needs to be careful about what people call organic and natural, especially in Nigeria today. We don't have the best regulatory bodies yet, right? So you need to be, judge, jury, and executioner of what you use on your skin, right? Pay more attention to the ingredients that are listed on your products. And I talk about this a lot on my Instagram. My Instagram is ard.safespace. if you are interested in, healthier skin this year, you should definitely follow us on Instagram. It's ard.safespace, right? And I talk a lot about ingredient transparency on ARD Safe Space, because you need to take responsibility for yourself, because you can't expect everyone to do it. When I say everyone, I mean every formulator out there. Stop buying products that don't have ingredients listed. Ask, whenever you buy a product from, a brand, ask them if they don't have the ingredient list, like boldly published on their website, ask for it. If you don't have it boldly written on the product itself, ask for it. When people tell you, when they give vague descriptions of products, like, let's see, golden glow oil, ask, what is contained in this oil that will cause the glow to be golden? Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but I mean it. Like, ask people, what is in this product? What is causing this product to do what you're saying it will do, right? Because there's something called claim substantiation in cosmetics, where you need to be able to defend that. Okay, if you call your product exfoliating, where are the exfoliating ingredients here? Let's see it, right? We need to see exfoliating ingredients in a product that claims to exfoliate, right? It's common sense, right? So you as a consumer, take that responsibility. On Instagram, I talk a lot, I've talked to about 3 brands now on ingredient transparency and how they, plan to promote that with their brands and going forward in the industry. Consumers deserve more. They need to know, so educate yourself. That's one. And ask questions. On ARD Safe Space, we give out free information all day long. We answer questions whenever we're asked. If we get, so many questions on the same topic, we do our best to just put out the information on that particular thing. Okay. So yeah, that answers the question on natural sunscreen ingredients. Someone says, please, I'm dark skinned and my skin is extremely dry. I have tried quite a lot of things, but no improvement at all. My skin gets really white and kind of shrinks sometimes. You may have chronic dry skin, just like I do. What you need to do is invest in moisturizers, so body creams, body lotions, and you need to be consistent with your application, right? It's not going to, if you've had this for most of your life, it's obviously not going to just clear in 1 week or 2 weeks. And that's another thing a lot of people think, and I don't know why. Even when you have malaria, you're given medication and you're told take it consistently for a period of time to see, actual progress. Same thing goes for cosmetics. For whatever you're treating, consistency is currency, right? You just need to keep going at it. Be consistent. Excellence, she mentioned that as well, right? Be consistent, keep going at it. Averagely, for most skincare ingredients, you need an average of 8 to 12 weeks to determine if progress is being made. Consistent use for 8 to 12 weeks. Anything anyone gives you and tells you in 2 days you'll see results, be skeptical about that, because sometimes that's not true. That shouldn't be. Okay, so definitely I would say invest in body lotions, invest in creams. But again, dryness might be indicative of a much more serious skin condition. So when you start with what I've said, if you don't see any improvements, you may need professional consultation most times. And yeah, so I hope that answers your question, Faith. Oyinda is asking, what would you recommend for not too light complexion people? My face is currently filled with pimples and I have dry skin. Please, what can I use? So Oyinda, this is, exactly what I was talking about earlier. This question seems like a very, you've told me what you're going through and I should be able to have a solution to that. But I can't, because again, I need your skin's history. I need product history. We need to be able to observe. I have questions, basically. I have a lot of questions for you, which is a whole consultation plan, okay? So definitely reach out on ARD Safe Space and we'll be able to take it from there, okay? I'll be expecting your text anytime soon. Right? So, and complexion matters, don't get me wrong. I get a lot of people asking me, when people ask for advice or they want to buy something, they go, oh, I'm a fair person or I'm a dark person. Skincare shouldn't make you dark, okay? Skincare should not darken your skin tone. Problem is, like I said, we don't have the most regulatory bodies for cosmetics in Nigeria. So a lot of adulterated goods find their way into the market. And when you use those products, they pretty much mess up your skin, cause adverse reactions, cause pigmentation due to several reasons. Okay. So definitely whatever you're recommended, whether you're light skinned or dark skinned, it shouldn't really affect your complexion. Okay. What causes dark elbows? Everything from hormones to friction to heat can cause dark elbows. Okay. But physical exfoliation, even use of chemical exfoliants as well can help lighten dark elbows. Okay. Next question is, I have similar problem, but I have not really tried anything. I still use Dettol. So yeah, that's the thing. If you haven't really tried anything, that's good and that's bad. Good because it's a clean slate to start using something. Bad because for a professional like myself, I have no history to work off from. But when I say bad, I don't mean you're doomed or anything like that, okay? But I don't know what similar problem you're referring to, maybe dark elbows or acne. But whatever it is, again, like I said, based on the severity of most cases or even the simplicity of certain cases, I cannot give skincare advice generically like this. Okay, so once again on ARD Safe Space, we'll be expecting your text, and you should definitely book a professional consultation. Do you think most consumers can interpret inky names? So inky names, simple definition of inky names is how ingredients, it's like think of it like a global dictionary for how ingredients should be identified on skincare products. No, not every consumer, not a lot of consumers can interpret inky names, right? And you really don't have to. There are a lot of inky name dictionaries, ingredient dictionaries online that you can use. So let me see if I can. Oh no, I can't reply that, but let me put a certain one that is really good. So there's this ingredient dictionary on Paula's Choice that even I, go to for reference sometimes. So I just put that on. So it's an ingredient dictionary. And if you're ever curious about like your ingredients and all of that, you can definitely check it out. There's a lot more, but that should be good. Okay, more questions, guys. Please ask your questions, guys. I still have some things to talk about, but I would rather speak to what you want me to hear, okay? After using a cream for a trusted brand like 5 years ago, which I reacted to, my face skin hasn't recovered since then. My face is like 4 shades darker than my body. I get breakouts that gives dark spots. Sadly, I've tried from organic to inorganic, but I haven't gotten results I want. What do you advise? I definitely advise that you reach out to us on ARD Safe Space. Oh, and before anyone jumps out before they can get this information, on ARD Safe Space, we'll be offering a 5% discount to everyone on this meeting who reaches out for a consultation booking. Okay, so by all means, let us know you were on this meeting. How do I know who is coming from here? I don't know, tell me something that I talked about or something, and you get your 5% discount, okay, on all our plans. So Abosede, I will be expecting you so that I can get like a complete breakdown of what you're talking about, okay? And we can definitely try to get your skin back to what you want it to be, okay? And sometimes people react to even the best brands, okay? So it will be a thing of you reacting to the brand for various reasons. It could be the ingredients, it could be anything, okay, guys, but not to worry. Orchard says, my face has been riddled with black spots that look like pimples. I've tried a lot to clean the face. Well, again, black spots that look like pimples could be anything from blackheads as a result of clogged pores or hormonal acne. It could be any of those, but try chemical exfoliations or even physical periodic physical exfoliation. But even with that, you can't do that in isolation. So you need like a full routine. But yeah, most times I also need to see what you're talking about. I call it sanity checks, because sometimes when people talk to you, have you noticed that sometimes when people talk to you about like whatever problems they're facing, they talk to you from their pressure points or their pain points. And then sometimes even I see it, I'm like, okay, let me see what you're talking about. In my head, I'm like, oh wow, thank God I saw it, because the picture you painted to me was far worse than this. So I always like to do those sanity checks of like description and pictorial evidence. Address to reach you, please. Physical office. Oh, I don't have a physical office in to run consultations. All our consultations are pretty much virtual. So I hope that answers you, Orchard. So don't worry, a lot of times I don't necessarily need to see the client, okay? So Opayemi says, do you sell moisturizers? Yes, we do. And for the moisturizers especially, we do, because RD8 Labs is launching moisturizers in a couple of weeks. And for any other products that you might need, we point you in the right direction on where to get them, okay? What is the effect of water on skin? I observe soft water is better for my skin when I bath with it than hard water. So what is the effect of water on the skin, water for bathing? The effect of water on the skin is very straightforward, right? First things first, you use water to cleanse your skin. So it's pretty much, for some people, they react to water for various reasons. If it's hard water, it just contains like more metals, and their skin doesn't really like the effect of those metals on their skin, and it may just end up feeling very different than when they use soft water. So if you move around a lot, or if you spend some time in different, if you travel a lot for work, like I assume ladies do, you're in a city and the water, if there's a direct effect of water to the skin. I'll be careful to give a direct answer and say yes or no, but I do know that a lot of people react to like softness or hardness of water. Sometimes it may not even be your skin reacting to it. It may just be the soap that you're using, because it's hard water, it's not lathering as effectively as it should. And so therefore you don't feel as clean as you would like to. However, yeah, I think that answers your question, Esther. Let me know if it does. You're welcome. So you should definitely make use of the discount, definitely. Any advice on hair regrowing healthy edges, for instance? Oh, yes, Lydia. If you follow us on ARD Safe Space, I have a whole series on hair, from washing, conditioning, and, protecting and treating your hair, okay? It's a bunch of IGTV videos. All right, so regrowing your healthy edges, first advice would be leave it alone. Okay, stay away from manipulating the hair, stay away from, fiddling with it and all of that. Protect it with maybe wigs, keep it moisturized, keep it conditioned, and, all of that. But I have all the information on Instagram for free. Do I consult for toddlers? Because I'm noticing some reaction on my daughter's face and doctors have not been able to provide a lasting solution. Definitely, I can take a look. Definitely, reach out on ARD Safe Face and we can get to work immediately. This has been a scary tale to me. A friend told me that organisms come out every night to have like some word on my face, that it has been the cause of the black spots on my face. I have been disturbed. I've never heard of that, and I cannot speak to that because I don't even know what that is. I doubt that that's true, honestly. Like, what? I'm sorry you had to go through that tale. It sounds scary. But yeah, I don't think that that's true, okay? So reach out. We can definitely tackle whatever it is you're going through. All right. Okay, so that's pretty much all the questions that I've got so far. I don't know if anyone has any more questions or if you would like to speak to me directly. If I haven't touched point on anything that you're expecting me to say, please let me know. Again, just to reiterate on what I said earlier about personal care from a practical approach, consistency is the currency. Whatever routine you're on, or whatever routine that you want to start, it is not magic. I have to be honest with you. Consistency is currency. You have to be disciplined to follow through. To see results. I'm really happy that, with the results that Excellence is seeing, because it's not always a straight line. Again, as well, okay, for some clients, we have to wait a while, we have to reiterate, sometimes switch up the routine process, like the steps and all of that, to see results, and it usually always ends up great. Okay, so yeah, someone trying to ask a question. Okay, so consistency is the currency, okay, guys? So yeah. My name is Debbie, a cosmetic chemist. Hi, with IPCS. I'm asking about inky names as regards to proper labeling. I feel customers have to go through a lot of understanding on know the meaning of what is written in the label. Yeah, definitely, Debbie. I agree with you. We can have this conversation outside of here because that's very specific to a cosmetic chemist. All right. And yeah, definitely. I'll definitely like to connect with you as well. So reach out on ARD Safe Space, definitely. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time. I think, it's been a moment and I hope I was helpful. And yeah.
Wow, this was good. Thank you so much. Thank you for being as transparent as possible. Guys, what do you guys think? Did you have value for your time? It was just amazing. So this is not going to be a long one. Thank you very much. I know I'm very grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. So there's no one straight rule for everyone, like she said. If you want to get something for you, you might want to actually book a consultation. And trust me, a consultation is very, very affordable, like very affordable. And it starts from there. So when you're able to understand where you are, then you don't know what you need to actually move from there. And as affordable as it is, she's still offering 5% off. Like, my God, who does that? I feel it is so affordable, but now she's offering 5% off as well. And I think you should just jump on that. At least understand. She'll recommend products to you and all of that. You might not be able to maybe get everything at a go or something. She's just you can just discuss with her and then you start from there. And the thing is, the products she recommended for me is not from her store, or she doesn't have a store. It's not like it's her own or she's selfishly trying to get. No, she really is looking out for you to ensure that you actually get the results that you want. There were all kind of external vendors and all of that, but she actually sourced for the right deals, because there was one product that I was trying to get that wasn't forthcoming. And when I tried to check another vendor, I saw the price difference. I was like, I will wait for this particular vendor, let it come, and I feel that's really a good one. Thank you so much, Aina, for your time. I'm going to send you all a message after this. I just hope I have your email. I hope you registered. Some people didn't register, but I'll just put it somewhere. This was also streamed on YouTube, so I'll put it in the comment. If you go to our YouTube channel, you just see it in the description box or something. I'll put in her Instagram URL, so you can just go there, click the link on her bio, and you can just schedule your appointment. But I think I also put it in the chat box earlier. I'm going to put it again so that you can just click on it and follow her. She has very interesting content, very, very good content, all about skincare and all of that. So you can just follow through and see the series. And very, very nice, trust me. So thank you, guys. Next month in March, we're going to be looking at your health. I'm going to be having a consultant public health specialist speaking to us about that. More details will be shared on that later. So it's going to be as interesting as it gets. And I just want you to be whole, to be full, like not just one-sided. Work is going, you're making too much money, but then you have an imbalanced life. I just want you to have something balanced. And so we're very, very grateful. So I know we are coming, we're all rushing to your DMs after this, I'm very sure. And then even those with watching, if you're going to watch the replay, then just check the description box. You see the details of what you need to do to actually get access to her and all of that. So thank you everyone for showing up tonight. We're very grateful. Have an amazing night rest. Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.